Well, what's up? What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. And before we go any further, let's take care of some business with Philly 500.
Disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No. They suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
Shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slight. They shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slight. They shit on you. Kill them.
Kill them.
Oh my goodness. Did he say they cock out on them?
Hate the style.
Yes, kill them. What's going on, good people? I see EJB in the house. I see Isaac Ramirez, Chris May. What's going on, Chris May? Ruben Walls. And, of course, you know I've got my posse up in here. Let me see if I can get the right camera here going. Nope, wrong camera. Wrong camera. Let's try flipping over here to this one. There we go. Troy Daniels is always in the house. First one here. Shout out to my man Troy Daniels. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
You're doing great?
My way in on Friday. Dropped another 4.
Another 4-0?
Pounds.
4 pounds?
Another 4 pounds.
Good job, man. Cool. You're just wasting away, bro.
I am. Look at this. I'm going to have to get all of this stuff removed.
Okay. They're going to have to, like... Just like, oh, okay. You know what? I tell you what.
I'll worry about it later.
You don't need to go into the details because I want to say, Chris May. Chris May's in here right now. He sent me a couple of pictures of his eye where he had a cornea replacement or something. I'm just like, It's like, why you? I saw it first thing this morning, and he's like, hey, take a look at my eye. It looks like an alien eye. I was like, I'm like, Chris, what the heck? It's a cornea transplants look like. Look, here's the thing. When they send it to you, this is the caption. Thought I would share you what my left eye cornea transplant looks like. Gnarly, right? I'm just like, gee, dude, thank you very much. Because I literally woke up and I saw that. I was like, ah! Oh my God.
Hey, Ruben, yes, I think I will disappear on us.
So I saw Chris in here. Let's see if he's still here and commenting on that. Chris, sorry to put your business out there, but damn, that was rough, bro. Speaking of rough, I am now looking at right now. Here's what I feel like this offseason has been. This offseason has been the worst to me because it has been nothing, period. I mean, we got the DirecTV case, Sunday ticket case and stuff. Okay, maybe we'll get a refund. I doubt. We'll probably all get 50 cents or something like that, from that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The only run-ins with the law was the Kansas City Chief wide receiver speeding and crashing and stuff, and the Eagles backup linebacker who stiffed a lady of the evening. So we haven't even had any, crazy stuff over there. And we haven't had really any major signings. It's just been, I deem it like the Sahara Desert. I feel like we're all in here, we're looking, and all of a sudden we see what we think is an oasis, right? And we start running over towards that, and we realize it was just a mirage. There is nothing. And this is what I said to my man Game Time Brian. I'm like, Brian, it's really hard right now to find something to talk about. There's nothing. I mean, there's Cowboys aren't signing any contracts. You're not even getting the Jerry Jones. I want me some glory holes. It's just like I am dying of thirst in this sea of nothingness. That's not, I mean, seriously, tosses a bone. I was so happy when I saw that Justin Simmons was wearing a Dallas Cowboys hat, at his youth camp. It's like, oh, okay, he's showing them some love. Maybe he's trying to send a hint. Anybody else feel this way?
Every time I look at this picture right here, Stephen Jones, it just makes you want to punch him in the mouth.
What's he saying?
I keep seeing that's on Facebook. He walks like he's got like he's walking with
The
purpose,
shit-eating
but it's
grin.
like, walking with purpose for what? You haven't done nothing.
You know, the thing about Stephen
Look like he's about
Jones
to go to a
is
buffet or something.
I could see him, just kind of like pulling up on his pants one side, pulling them up. You know what look I'm talking about. When you're pulling your pants, like he done something.
It just makes me so mad, man.
When you literally hear him say stuff like, well, we've won 36 games over the last 3 years, and that's right up there with the Kansas City Chiefs and stuff, and we don't believe that signing a bunch of free agents is the way you build a team. It's you got to be careful about how you spend your money, and player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job, and so you're always looking for guys that'll help make you better.
I think the Cowboys would make a great dissertation for my doctoral when I start in August.
On what's their thesis going to be?
How Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones just don't get it.
Stephen Jones, he should be on one of those Geico commercials. He would be a great candidate for that. You'd say, I got some good news.
Yeah, I just saved a whole bunch of money by not bringing any free agents.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
When I'm convinced about fully now is I think Stephen Jones, all he cares about is his inheritance money. That's all he cares about.
Okay,
nothing
but
else.
how much do you need, bro? I mean, seriously, because it's beyond
everything he sees is dollar signs. That's all he sees.
When you got to understand, it's not just AT&T. It's not just the Star, and the Star is office buildings because, what is it? Keurig, Pepsi. They're renting out one of those buildings that are right there. He's got, office parks that are in New York and all throughout Dallas and everything else. You got a his and her helicopter. I don't know if Stephen Jones has one himself. Oh, Lord, it's Leo already. Damn, he couldn't let us get to the 10-minute mark before he gets in
thanks,
here.
Mark. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
Oh,
It's now
I mean,
the Leo
damn.
Show.
It used to be, at least it would be like, 5:20 or so like that, so everybody could at least say, hello, how are you? Now his ass is in here early.
Oh, he's muted.
Don't tell him.
Because I've been late.
Shouldn't have said
Because I
anything.
always show
He's
up late.
not muted anymore.
You know what, Troy? I always, why? Why? Why?
I just gotta tease with you, Leo. I mean,
Dude,
good
why? You don't even say hi first.
Oh,
And
excuse me.
What are you looking for, a reach around?
I bow to greatness.
and the terrible part is that I come into this and I knew Mark was talking shit about me.
What do you mean? It's nothing but love, man.
I bow to
What's happening,
greatness.
fellas? What's happening? What's going on? What we talking about today? All right?
We talking.
We talk
sitting
about our
here.
favorite
I'm
person,
supposed to be the
Cowboys.
franchise player, and we're in here
Just a minute
talking
ago.
about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice, not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about because we sitting here.
We talking about practice because we ain't got nothing else to talk about. I was actually saying how my analogy for where we are in this offseason is we're in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Only thing we see is nothingness, just sand. And every time we see what we think, oh my God, is that Dak Prescott getting ready to get his contract? You realize it's a mirage, right? You know what I mean? Oh my God, there's no. I mean, you can go. It doesn't matter if it's the Eagles or the Cowboys. There really isn't any new. Everything is just bullshit stories. And I'm going to tell you how desperate I got this morning because I always go through.
R.I.P. to Jacoby Jones.
Right. Yeah. That's
that.
sad. Yeah. That's crazy that he's only 40 years old. His family put out a statement that he died peacefully at home. So that should take away speculation that he.
Well,
did
what about the
anything.
shooting at Kyrie and Zay's and thing?
Yeah, that's another. Yeah.
And
Hey,
someone
man,
got killed.
We're just in some terrible times, man. I mean,
It is crazy. I'll be honest with you. The temperature. I always say I'm old, okay? And when I say I'm old, I remember going to elementary school. I was probably about 6 years old, and you have to understand that if you remember the Titans, and that movie
Yes.
is about in Alexandria, Virginia, about
Yeah.
the T.C. Williams Titans.
Yep.
The
Yep.
year that happened, I was actually going to elementary school. Our school, Louis Archer, was now being integrated. And the high school is literally right behind the elementary school. And so I would walk because my parents' house was really close to the school. And I remember race riots. That's how old I am, because the schools were integrated. I remember it was, there weren't that many black kids, but I remember it was about 75 black kids and about 10 white kids showed up, and a whole lot of police showed up, and so on. And going through all of that, and I won't go through how many times I got called the N-word, which was on a daily basis and
Yeah.
things like that, that I never thought that we would be where we are now. But the crazy thing is we did fight back in those days. The worst case was somebody might bring a knife. Now, this shit is just like people die.
It's like we're going backwards.
Yeah, it's
Hey, Mark,
it's even worse.
Quickly,
I mean,
real quickly.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Do we have some news?
condolences to Flip Shelton. He lost his cousin today.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
oh, prayers.
Yeah,
condolences.
Flip Shelton. He put it in
Flip
the
Shelton.
comments that he
Oh
lost
man, sending prayers your
cousin
way,
today.
man. I'm sorry about that. Flip Shelton.
Mark, interestingly enough, T.C. Williams today is used as an example of sustainability now. The way they've converted that school now, like with solar panels and all that stuff. They really. I used to live in Alexandria, and so I remember having to go by that school and someone explained to me like what they actually did with it, like how they changed it around now.
That's pretty much almost all the high schools in the original high schools, because my high school was I think it was 50 years old when I graduated, or no, maybe not. No, maybe it was 25 years old. But most of the high schools, if you're talking about Lee High School and Marshall High School and all those schools are really, really old, but they have been upgraded and things, because we only had air conditioning in part of the school.
Okay.
When I went to school. And here's another one that's funny for y'all. Okay, this is kind of crazy. There used to be a smoking section.
Yep.
You used to listen. There was a section where you could go smoke between classes.
Well, before Nixon banned it, smoking was a norm, right?
Well, this was okay. We're talking about 1980.
You could just go anywhere and
listen,
smoke.
Let me tell you, we're talking about the early
commercials
80s.
and everything.
We had a smoking section in high school, and I graduated '84. There was a smoking section, and here's what was even funnier was the drinking age for beer was 18. I turned 18 in October my senior year. So it was legal to drink when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So it's a different world. But the thing I will say, though, that's different about what's going on in the world is I love the internet. The fact that I'm communicating with all of you guys all over the country and everything else, that people can literally watch here from anywhere in the world. The problem is people don't interact with people anymore. You don't talk to somebody face to face. Everything is what you digest online. And just like crack, it is catered to whatever it is you are to create a reaction to get you to continue to watch. And so there's the real world, which most people don't interact with. And then it's the online world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say this. I'm ready to give an observation about all of you. Okay, that I've realized in my time since I've been on this channel. What's interesting about this year, in particular, than any other year, is that, and I'm talking about Cowboys fans, Dallas Cowboys fans, is that I don't know, something's different about this year when it comes to y'all and your fandom and your idiocy and all that stuff. I really feel like what
You're
happened last
100%
year
Like
right.
our
was
morale's
that
down or what?
I feel like, I feel like a lot of y'all ain't come back. I feel like a lot of Cowboys fans just like, and it wasn't that the Packers loss was so hard. It was so hard for a third straight time. You see what I'm saying?
I don't
Like
know if they're
that
not
level
coming
of
back.
heartbreak.
You have 100% the anger. Usually
Yeah,
they
I'm
get.
just saying,
Usually
like, it's
everybody
like
gets
hard,
over
like,
it in time. Usually by the time after the draft, people have kind of gotten over it and they start getting hyped
That's
up
why,
about
yeah.
the players. But you're right. The venom has been there. It's going to be interesting to see when they get on the practice field and start working out if it actually is different or not.
What's
Game
up, Leo?
time.
Listen,
What's good? Hey, game time. Did you hear what I just said about you
yeah,
guys?
that's why I want to comment on that. I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why?
Why? 'Cause
This
I'm sick of this
team-
It's
shit.
a culmination of years, right?
Well, no, well, listen, it's the loss, right? Okay, it's the loss, and what do normal organizations do? Even our own organization, what did we used to do, Mark? They
Try
would
and fix it.
they would give us a signing. And don't get me wrong, Leo. Most of the
Okay.
time, it probably wasn't a great signing. It was a name. It was a
Right.
Roy Williams trade where it was a dumbass move or a Joey Galloway big splash.
It was activity.
It was right. It was to okay. It's to it's like a political move. It's to
Yes.
take the
Yes.
it's to take the
Yes.
eyes off of what happened. Which what
Yes.
we choked as an organization, and I'll argue with Drew till the day I die. It wasn't Dak Prescott. It was organizationally. We failed as an organization against the Green Bay Packers, and they did nothing.
Mhm.
Leo, they let us sit here and say, "Okay, we're going all in." Right? That's what we heard right after the season. We're going all
Yeah.
in. Nothing.
Yeah.
Silence. We're all sitting here biting our nails, waiting. What's
You had
coming?
you had live streams about the free agency.
They,
But
yeah,
but to your point,
they
you know-
have a plan, right? It's like, well, hey, Leo, it's like the White House, right? We know they got a plan if something happens. Shit, they don't have no plan. There ain't no plan. We're going down with the ship if a bomb goes off. You know what I mean? There's no plan.
Right.
And then
right,
all of a sudden, we're at training camp and nothing's been done.
Yeah.
We don't know what to think, right, Mark? We don't know what to
Well,
think.
here's what I know.
Oh, here we go.
No,
He's pulling us
okay.
back in.
And that's exactly what the Cowboys
gonna get done. Still happy
Mark does that.
November.
Okay, no.
Nothing's gonna
But
get done.
you know the
November.
Cowboys sign people in training camp. Anthony Barr was a week 2 signing in there. They'll do the Gerald McCoys and things like that. Ones that, and I hate to say this, but Law Nation, Vash Lombardi, myself, and all of Cowboys Mafia, we get so excited about crumbs that get thrown at us that we talk about how this guy
Give me
works.
one wing.
Okay, no,
give me one rib. Give me one
okay,
rib.
look, let me throw you under the bus because remember how excited you were about
Here we
Anthony
go.
Barr?
No.
No, I mean, but see,
twisted.
the
I wasn't
thing-
excited about Anthony Barr. To Leo's point, I was excited about activity. It could have been Ray Finkel. I don't give a shit. We signed somebody.
That's what
that
I'm
got
saying.
Our minds off of what happened in the year prior. That's all.
But we haven't even gotten that this year.
No, that's what I was telling
We haven't
you.
had a Don Terry Poe or a Clinton.
There hasn't been
Dix
nothing.
or nothing.
Not even a bad move. We're good for those two.
Look, it hasn't even been our own guys being signed. So,
Right, exactly.
Which has just led to.
But you know what though? Like Mark and game time, like I'm telling you, like this is normally that time of year for me as an Eagles fan, where whatever's happened, whether it be my team or what's happened to your team, but normally by this time of the year, we're back. And I'm talking like I'm back with the people who I normally talk shit with.
Yeah.
And we're going back and forth because we're however many weeks removed from the draft. We've got things to look forward to. Free agency has already come and all the things, chess pieces have moved. And I'm noticing, and it's normally like, okay, I start talking my shit, and my Cowboys fans, friends, will say something back, but this time they're in
There's
it.
nothing to say, Leo. Nothing to say.
Saying? They're not in it like they used to.
How can we say anything to you?
Yeah, it's like,
how could I?
And I'm like,
how could I be chesty, right? How could I be chesty at all? You go out and get the best running back on the market, whether we agree on the value or whatever.
Shit.
What?
No, Chris, I see he's doing something with his eye, man. I'm having a flashback.
Oh, dude, I was just getting you know how eyelashes are.
Dude, that picture you sent, man, fucked me up.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Okay, I'm waking up and I see this eye.
I saw Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
This is like the Mitch Green.
It was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Recall.
It was like, damn.
Athletic.
It's like, put a warning on that before you post something like that.
I'm sorry, man. I just
was
thought
like,
you'd be interested to see what that kind of looks like.
Nah, it was fine. I was fine with it.
No,
I thought I was the only one. I'm a little disappointed that you sent it to Mark too.
Oh man, but it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, Leo, there wasn't much, man. There's not much to look forward to.
It's and again, it is to the point now. Even for somebody like me, an Eagles fan, even I'm noticing it. Like, oh.
But here's the thing, though.
Now,
okay,
again,
then there should be no expectations for the Cowboys. But you know what'll happen? Everybody's this is Dak Prescott's last time. Mike McCarthy, man, he's an ass coach. But wait a minute. Everybody admits that the Cowboys have done nothing to try to win. So why do we throw it all on the people that are out there that are trying to do something? The fact that they've got 12 wins should be a miracle because, this isn't like the Jets that said, let's go out and get Aaron Rodgers to go on this roster. This isn't like the Denver Broncos that said, let's get Randy Gregory, let's keep our own guys, Justin Simmons, and try and get the best quarterback out there, Russell Wilson. We've seen teams that have gone out here and done a whole lot of things and didn't bust a grape. We are sitting here, we ain't done shit, and somehow we at least make the playoffs, and everybody's killing them. You should be killing the Joneses, not the people that are actually performing above expectation.
The Joneses weren't going to do anything this year, Mark, because they were going to clear up cap this year.
I get that, but if that's the case, then how can we blame the players? How can you blame the players if you know that you've got a running back who's been going downhill for the last 4 years, that he's your lead dog? How is it that we're going to go ahead and get pissed off at them when you're going to have two rookies starting on the offensive line? How is it that we're relying on a guy who was a disappointment as a first-round draft pick last year, who has
can't blame the players this year.
Hold on. Who literally has had shoulder surgery and has not been able to work out. We are now relying on him to hold the line in the middle. How can we look here and say, those guys suck? That's not their fault.
Now, I'm not going to say you can put it on the players this year. What I will say is last year, though, the Joneses can put that playoff loss on the coaching staff, all coaches and players. That was a disaster. I think that's why they're looking at this offseason as what do we do? Man, we were second seed. We lost to a 7th seed. We had a good team. We have all these contracts coming up. What do we do?
Okay, let me ask this question.
Something competent in the middle to stop the darn run. That's what you do.
Okay.
Give me a side.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask it this way, okay? If you are let's say Arizona. If you were in the position that the Cowboys were right now, Arizona, and you could probably put a lot of teams in there. You could say the Cleveland Browns. You could put in, Atlanta or there's so many teams that have been down for a long time. If you were to say you were making the playoffs a couple of years in a row, would they literally look and say, you know what, we can't win with these guys. Let's tear this shit down and start over? Would that be their reaction? Or would they look and say, damn, we're close. Maybe we should try and do a little bit more to help the team that you built? Because you don't have too many teams that are doing what the Cowboys, I know they're failing in the playoffs, but if you look at building a team, it's hard to build a team that's going to make the playoffs back-to-back years. And to just nilly-willy say, just blow it up and start all over. How the fuck does that
I
happen?
don't think they're going to blow it up, though, Mark. I think, like what Brian brought us and Mike Fisher pointing out, this is a clear up the cap year, and after November, they're going to literally get all these contracts done with Dak, CD, and Micah.
Well, maybe.
Because if they get it done after November, it doesn't affect this year's cap. It's for the next year's. And next year, we got over $100 million in cap.
Yeah, but here's but hold. This is where it doesn't make sense.
I think CD gets done before the season.
CD. Okay,
well, after he held out.
Okay, listen to me for 1 second right now.
17.
Okay, right, 17.9, right?
Right.
Let's say you just take, and we're just going to give him Justin Jefferson's contract because they both came in the same year. Okay, let's just say we break the bank and spend $35 million. His cap hit this year is only $8 million. He went from the $17 million down to $8 million, and I know you're saying, "Oh, well, yeah, well, that's first year." The second year is only $15 million. The third year is 33, or is it 38? 33 or 38. But after that year, you could actually get rid of him with only a $14 million cap hit. So think about this. At this moment, I owe $17.9 million to CD Lamb, right? I give him the same contract. I now save $9 million that I can roll over into next year. And his cap hit number would be 15. I've got $9 million that I'm rolling back over. If I take that $9 million per se, and it's say, for the sake of argument, we're applying it to CD Lamb. That means in effect, his contract is only costing you $6 million next year, like Justin Jefferson, and $8 million this year. Am I wrong?
No. I get what you're saying. Maximize, like if there's ever
you muted
to
yourself.
if there's ever time to strike while the iron's hot, now would be in terms of being able to afford to have people on the books.
And on top of it,
it's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing.
And on top of it, why not have the guy come in camp happy? How many times have we done the same bullshit with Zeke? Zeke's season after he got paid was shit. D-Law's season after?
Mark, and just working out all the contracts after November.
Okay, so do we end up having CD Lamb sit here and wait until, showing up the week of the season so he gets that game check and fuck up the preseason and not work?
Haven't this team to win the Super Bowl this year, so why not, Mark? Wait.
Again, sabotaging your own team. And in the end, they'll blame it on
sabotage. I would say that we went 12-5 3 years in a row, and the Jones family is like, the organization is saying we got to pay these guys, and we need to let all this cap hit this year. We're not signing anyone, so we have $100 million next year in cap space and work all the contracts.
Again, and I'm going to tell you this.
You have a franchise tag too. Franchise CD.
You do. Yes, you do. Or you can franchise Micah, after his 5th year and so on. Yeah, good luck with that one.
That's why they haven't signed no one. They literally are not going to sign no one, I'm telling you.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see how, this game
of
chicken.
We're a few weeks away from training camp.
We're a week and a half away. Okay. Shit, my plane ticket's for the 4th.
All I'm saying is how close is the regular season? How much you want to bet they don't work CD Lamb's contract out before the season?
And I'm going to say that would be stupid. But, I've said the Cowboys have done a lot of stupid shit.
Okay, so they don't sign anyone this year, Mark. How much cap space are they going to have next year?
I think it's 65, actually. But then you don't have CD, and you don't have Dak signed either. And, whatever you roll over. You got 12
the cap's going to go up, too.
Maybe, but here's the other side of this thing. You've got the the Sunday ticket deal that's kind of out there. And see, the NFL is trying to appeal it. Here's the problem with that. They have to put up a bond for $14 million.
Yeah.
$1 billion. And so is that money going to affect the salary cap the way COVID did? Because the salary cap works on gross receipts. If we end up having to take a big-ass loss of $14 billion, that is the salary cap.
And you also need to look at it if you own the franchise, Mark. Like, we have gone 12-5 3 years in a row. Your quarterback is about to get a $60 million contract. Here's the argument, Mark. Do you look at it? We hadn't got to the conference title. Do we give this man $60 million? I'm not saying that loss against Green Bay was Dak's fault. It was not. But what I will say is my franchise quarterback didn't look good like everyone else who I'm paying a lot of money. That's not good.
So
do I give him another $60 million contract?
Okay. So wait, let me ask you this, bro. Do you have any kids?
No, I got no kids.
Dude, he broed you. You're fucked.
No, I'm just saying. If you have a child and he's struggling in math, what do? Do you say, man, he's just stupid and just fuck him and, screw his life? Or do you look and say, what can I do to help the child succeed? Do I get him a tutor? Do I work with him? Whatever.
We went 12-5, Mark. Our team was the number 1 offense in the NFL last year.
And guess what?
How much more help does he need?
Well, apparently, you can look at the San Francisco 49ers that went out and got Christian McCaffrey and all those guys. Okay, and guess what? That wasn't enough for them.
Why did Dak play bad?
Say what?
My argument is, why did Dak play bad, Mark?
It was the defense.
Okay.
The defense sucked. Why didn't my quarterback drive down the field and score a touchdown?
In which one? In which one?
In the Green Bay Packers game.
Okay.
John Acme, I'm sorry, bro.
Now, I know we'll say that it's garbage time and so on, but there was 400.
I'm talking about at the beginning of the game. When Green Bay scores, my quarterback needs to drive down the field and score a touchdown.
And how many?
You're the franchise.
Going through, how many passes did CeeDee Lamb drop early? And checking out.
Tell me that.
How much running of the football did we do?
None.
How good did we do running the football?
Same time, let Mark know your true feelings about Dak. Be real.
Go ahead. I've got. Let me be clear.
Exactly.
Let me be clear. I don't expect people to just agree with me.
Mark knows how I feel. Mark knows.
Mark,
We've had many.
He'd rather have Trevor Lawrence.
You are the franchise quarterback. I'm not saying get rid of Dak. I'm not saying get rid of Dak, Mark. What I'm saying is you are the franchise quarterback.
I understand that.
You have to elevate your team.
So if it had been, we're sitting here in the same spot. We're sitting here in the same spot as Peyton Manning. So if it was Peyton Manning on this roster right now, who did not win the Super Bowl until later in his career, we would be saying it's about postseason success.
Yeah, but Mark,
what? The numbers are about the same, bro.
I'll ask you this: they're not the same quarterback. Peyton Manning is leagues above Dak as far as being a quarterback, Mark.
Yeah, but he didn't have the postseason success. So
he
by your matrix,
was the offensive coordinator on the field.
Matrix,
but
then you should be getting rid of him.
Peyton Manning, everybody was saying all Peyton Manning need is a defense, and then once his defense stood up in the playoffs, he won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's all needed. Yeah. It's the same thing. We have good players on the defense, but they just have to stand up in the playoffs, and they haven't yet.
Hey, Dan.
I'm not saying it's
Dan,
not,
if you don't like my comparison, you know what?
But still.
This is the no taking shit no more, Mark Holmes. Okay, trust me. None of you mother humpers have to be here. There is no rule that says you must. It's not like we're Chris May where they're holding his eyeballs open and stuff and saying that you have to watch Mark Holmes. If you don't like what I have to say, in the same way as I'm doing these 12 videos today, and I think I've got number 7 now uploaded. I've got 5 more to go, and I will do it just to annoy some of you mother humpers. But
so, Mark, I will.
You don't have to watch, Dan.
So since the Jones family hasn't, let's just say they haven't done enough to put a team around Dak, like a full team. So this is where it comes in. This is the unfairness. You are the franchise. I'm sorry, Mark. Now Dak has to play out of his mind to elevate the team to win a Super Bowl. That's the position we're in.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
That's the sad part about it is because Troy Aikman had the doomsday defense.
Edwin, you got to get ahead, my man.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yes, please do.
What was Dak's quarterback rating compared to the NFL last year?
Above the average. He was above the.
He was nominated second for most valuable player, right?
I know, and I got ridiculed on my live stream that you didn't come visit me with.
Where is it that the quarterback is not motivating the team?
I almost look at it and say,
this is in the playoffs. We're talking about playoffs, not regular season.
But you can't get to the.
but here's the thing, though. I tell you what, though.
You win games.
Hold on. Are we making the playoffs without Dak Prescott?
No.
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
So if we literally don't even.
This is the razor's edge sword of how quarterbacks
What do you mean?
are judged
Who's
by
our
winning
quarterback?
in the playoffs.
And yet,
wait.
Anyway,
would you rather have the quarterback for Cincinnati Bengals or Dak Prescott compared to their careers?
give me Joe Burrow.
Okay, Joe Burrow's been in the league how many years?
Yeah, but here's the problem you have to worry about Joe Burrow is he's getting injury prone.
I get it. I get it. No.
I'll take Jared Goff. I'll take Jared Goff right now.
So you paying that man all that money, and he's not even playing on the
But
field.
he got to the Super Bowl.
Sorry,
but
wait.
But they didn't win.
No, I get it. I get
sorry,
it.
Jared Goff. I'm sorry. You look at his numbers with what Detroit's got there. He should be playing a lot better. He should have like 50 TD passes a year, 5,000 passing yards. Like he's shit. I'm sorry. Goff is shit.
He took two different teams, one of them to a Super Bowl and one to a conference title. We can use that same argument. Troy Aikman's numbers were ass. How do you do in the playoffs?
Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC Championship games.
Oh, excuse me.
Sanchez.
Well, you could actually
talk
about
all I'm saying
Mr.
is
Porn.
you take two teams.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
So you taking him? Jimmy G?
Yeah, well, I sent Phil a meme. I'll send it to you, Mark. But it's about Jimmy G. But yeah, Jimmy G. You saw Devontae Adams throw Jimmy G under the bus.
Yeah.
So, but Derek J. Real quick, Derek J. just hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel. So that's a big accomplishment, man.
Getting close to money.
Mark always told me, Derek, that the first 1,000 was the hardest, and my God, it took forever.
Mark,
it took me about 7 months.
I want Dak to win a Super Bowl. Like,
I do too. And what I'm saying is you know what?
The unfair reality.
Okay.
Dak has to play out of his mind this year.
Yes, he has to. How about the team has to? I keep hearing that Dak has to play out of his mind because he's got to make up for the fact that he's got 2 rookie offensive linemen. He's got to make up the fact that you got a question mark at your number 3 wide receiver, that your number 2 is an aging guy that's been around forever, and that your number 1 is holding out, and who knows when he's going to come in. Dak has to play out of his mind because of the shit that the ownership has put out for him. That our defense may be in the same goddamn space that is going to be unable to stop anybody running the football, in which case teams will be able to run the freaking clock out on us because they are not caring about investing in defensive linemen, interior ones.
And look, you won't hear, and trust me, Mark, you won't hear me say this year, I will not put this season on Dak. Like, this team is not equipped to probably win a Super Bowl this year. If we fail or fall short, I'm not going to blame anything on Dak. What I will say is the last 3 seasons, we had a good enough squad to get to a Super Bowl or conference title.
Wow. Well,
I mean,
when I look at it,
you can't argue we did.
When I look at it, I'm sorry. 2 things you must be able to do in the playoffs. Stop the run and run the fucking football. And when my running back, but wait. That's during the regular season. Again, we're getting to the playoffs now. Micah Parsons is, one of the sack leaders in the NFL, right? And he's got 1 sack in the playoffs in his career. 1 sack.
Green Bay
4 games.
Running the ball with
4 games. Micah Parsons has 1 sack.
No, the mission. Season football is a lot different.
And when I look at Tony
football.
Pollard and Zeke Elliott and their stat line is under 30 yards as my running game, sorry, that's not just the quarterback. It's playoffs. It's everybody is hyped up. It's do or die. Everybody has to freaking show up. If you can't stop the run and you have no running game, then all of a sudden you have to throw in tight windows. If I'm not worried about your running game, I can play nickel coverage. I can double CD Lamb. If I'm doubling CD Lamb, you're going to have to throw in tight windows. And what happens when you have to constantly throw in tight windows and a team knows you're throwing? You're going to have turnovers.
Say that
Come on, man. You got to be balanced. And Dan
Quinn didn't purposely have us play bad, not prepare us, so because he knew he probably was getting another job.
And it felt like that too.
It kind of felt like maybe Dan Quinn
had checked out.
Screw y'all.
Yeah, I'm going to Washington.
You're going to give me what I need. I'm going to Washington then. Yeah. That's what it kind of felt.
No one knows what was said. Maybe the Joneses did something to piss him off.
Well, it seemed that way.
Said, you know what?
They didn't give him no linebackers. After everybody got hurt, they didn't give him no linebackers, and they ran the ball on us and killed us every time.
Yeah, they sure did.
Our defensive tackles were getting pushed back like they were nothing. You go back to that game and watch. In the beginning, they were doing pretty good, but then they just wore down and they were just getting pushed back.
Fortunately, we haven't had a defensive line since 2007.
I know. It's been a while.
This is weird because Leo, I forgot Leo was even here.
Leo has been listening. I have been just listening and enjoying this misery here. And again, trying to figure out, you're like, oh, okay. Listening to how honest you guys are being. This is your safe space. So, and I am the visitor, but Lord have mercy.
You're just too relaxed, Leo.
Hey, listen, I'm burning on some real fire right now too. So I'm just saying, I can't even, to Game Time's point earlier, about activity, and being appreciative of the activity, and seeing the steps that my team has made, watching the whole thing on and how it actually unfolded on Hard Knocks, like wow, like oh wow, okay, you know what I'm saying, and there's still more to go, you know what I'm saying, that we'll find out on Tuesday, like how this all really ended up, because to be honest with you, Mark, truth be told, man, I really was hoping that we would re-sign DeAndre Swift. I really liked him.
Oh my God,
I really liked
bro. I got so much shit.
I didn't know that Saquon was available.
No, but no, hold on. DeAndre Swift had 1,300 yards last year and averaged 4.6 yards a carry.
And you know what? He was getting shit on, Mark, because he couldn't pass protect. It's so ridiculous. They didn't use him right, Leo. They did not use him right. He's one of the best pass receivers out of the backfield in the league, and they didn't use him.
Now, I tried to point out that.
So now we got Saquon, right? And now they're going to use him properly. Well, we'll see.
But Saquon's not getting 1,300 yards.
Mark,
I don't. Okay. But do we
and Kellen Moore doesn't get the ball to the backside of the backfield.
You had DeAndre Swift get 1,300 last year while your team was tanking. If you end up getting 800 or 900 from Saquon at about 3.8 or 3.9 a carry, your offense is going to be downhill.
Yeah, I'm not here to crap on Kellen Moore, Leo. I'm really not. I'm not saying I don't know what he's going to do in Philly, but he had Austin Eckler with the Chargers last year and couldn't get the ball to him.
Right.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring him in here, okay.
And he had Justin Herbert, who is a pocket quarterback, who regressed under him.
I know. Right. And again, like on my live stream, what I was talking about, Mark, was
pocket passing quarterback survive in the NFL?
That's the dynamic that it's going to be very interesting because, like Wade just said on my stream, and I don't know if he said it here, but unfortunately, RPO quarterbacks, especially RPO quarterbacks as talented as Jalen, who got to a Super Bowl doing exactly that, don't last in this league. Players are too big, Leo will tell you. They're too big, too strong, too fast to be doing that. I don't care who you are. They will hurt you. So is he going to mix it in the best he can, or is he going to try and do what they did to Dak? And thank God, Mark, Dak was able to do it. Because you remember Dak early in his career was a hike the ball, roll out, and let's wing it. Let's see what happens. Remember, he would always stretch the play out.
He got his leg snapped. He's feeling it right now.
And then he got his leg snapped, and then they said, we need to make this guy a pocket passer. And he's thrown for, 4,500 yards multiple times. So it's very... is Jalen going to be able to take that next step? That's what's going to be interesting. And I'm going to be interested to watch. I'm not saying he can't, but we got to see it.
Even Randall Cunningham took that step, and that was his best year when he was a pocket passing quarterback.
That's what he was saying, Leo, and I want Leo's thoughts on this. Wade brought up a great point with that. He said, Randall, the ultimate weapon of Philly and all that, but he didn't reach his true potential until what? He went and played with Randy Moss and was not running and played in an actual structured offense and thrived. He should have, if it wasn't for what? Gary Anderson missing a chip shot field goal, he was going to the Super Bowl. So your thoughts on that, Leo?
I think that one, when it comes to, I'm just as excited as you. Well, I'm excited, if not more excited, to see what Kellen Moore does with this particular offense. You guys heard me, and I will maintain. I don't believe that Kellen Moore has seen this much talent assembled on one roster ever, even when he was with the Dallas Cowboys.
I heard Charger fans say that.
That is a factor. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I heard Chargers fans say that last year too about this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it wasn't true. But again, we're better. We have more talent on our team offensively than the Los Angeles Chargers do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take the Pepsi challenge on that too. I'm just saying it's true. He has not had this much talent on one offense ever. You know what I'm saying? The second thing I'll say, and I've maintained this, is that something tells me that Jalen's a part of this. Like, however this is evolving, I think he's working with him. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I don't know to what degree, I don't know, but I feel like something tells me that Jalen and Kellen have probably been working on whatever the fuck this offense is together in some capacity, which is why I think he gave you guys that answer. They gave us all that answer, 95% and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I think he said that because he's probably been involved with 95 with the whole thing. He has some sort of a say so. He's looking at it all. You know what I'm saying? I think it was an analytical thing. I don't think it was a complaint. You know what I'm saying? The fourth thing I'll say is that nothing about Jalen Hurts has led me to believe that he would have a hard time adapting to another offense because he's done it every year for the last 10 years. I don't like it, and I know he doesn't either, and I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to see, I'm hoping that Kellen is there long, more than just a year. You know what I'm saying?
He has more consistency with the play caller. I get you.
Just to see, like, the whole team, like that whole team, not just Jalen, but the whole offense. I think, when I think about last year and that epic collapse, I was like, you know what? When you have something like that that happens, that catastrophic, it's something else. You know what I'm saying? It's something different. It's not about talent or anything like that. Something's going on somewhere, and we would need an off season or two just to find out. And Mark was pointing out, I think last week, when he was like, it's when they retire and it's when they go on different podcasts and shit and they're no longer on the team. You're going to hear things, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I believe that. But one thing I will say is, one thing that I remember about that team last year was that you could tell even they knew that they were not performing to what they could be. It seemed like they were waiting for something to happen with them too. You know what I'm saying? Like you could see that they were frustrated that they were underperforming. You know what I'm saying? I could tell. You know what I'm saying? So to Game Time's point, you know what I'm saying, which is what I've said from the rip, you know what I'm saying, I like activity. I like accountability in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to agree with it, but as long as I see something, you know what I'm saying? And, they got rid of a lot of coaches. It's not just Kellen Moore that I'm interested in. I'd like to see what this big-ass dude that's the new defensive line coach is going to do. You know what I'm saying? And from my understanding, they've been, the things that I've been hearing coming out of mini camp and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, is that, they're like, yo, homeboy be eating Jordan Davis's ass up, which is exactly what they need. You know what I'm saying? And Yeah, and Jalen Carter and everything like that. Like these are cats that need to be coached hard. You know what I'm saying? And this dude is,
Pause.
you know, he's a big imposing figure himself. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, that's just what you need. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at the new DB's coach, you know what I'm saying? Again, what are we gonna do? I can't wait to see what does Mekhi Beckford look like. What Mekhi Becton looks like.
Leo, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What was the question?
Thank you.
What was the question Brian asked you?
Don't,
it was about,
then he's gonna answer.
It was how do I feel? Yeah, damn. Yeah, sorry, y'all. I'm hot.
I forgot at this point.
I'm serious. I was like, I faded out.
Randall Cunningham in Minnesota.
Here's what I will say, though. But hold on. Because at the moment, because this is one of those interesting things, because you could actually go back.
Right there. Thank you, Jerry.
But here's an interesting take. Because everybody will go through and they'll talk about, oh my God, Justin Herbert, he's incredible because he had the 37 TD season his second year, but he's steadily gone downhill. Now, 2 years ago, their offense was 13th in scoring and 9th in yardage, right? Somehow with Kellen Moore, that 13 went to 21. And that yardage went from 18 to 9. And their offensive rushing yards went downhill. They couldn't get Austin Eckler and crew going with the running game. Now, I get it that you're saying that, you know, that he's never had so much talent. That's exactly what I heard about Kellen Moore leaving the Dallas Cowboys. Said, man, he's got Austin Eckler, and, you know, he's got Keenan Allen and everything else. And they were going through about, and he's a great quarterback. Because weren't they saying that great quarterbacks elevate the people around them?
Yes, but even when Kellen Moore left, the Dallas Cowboys, the Chargers were not better than the Cowboys.
Okay, well, here's what I'll say too about Kellen Moore.
No. I'm saying
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and don't take this the wrong way when I say this, and because people are going to say I'm being racial. But name me a coordinator who has done more interviews without getting a job who's not black. Because we know about the Rooney Rule that there's some guys that, okay, we got to interview a black guy, just call up, such and such and interview him so we can get past the Rooney Rule and then hire who we want to.
Jason Garrett.
Okay, Jason Garrett. Well, Jason Garrett didn't get as many as Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore has been around, and how many teams decided saying that's the guy we want?
What's my man name that used to coach the Jets?
DeLay?
No, he was Baltimore's defensive coordinator. Rex Ryan. Yeah, Rex Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Point
being is all these teams, because I believe the year before he was let go, I think he had 5 interviews for head coaches.
Oh, the guy from Miami, right?
Williams? I mean, Mike
McDaniel?
The coach that was fired?
Miami at the time. Yeah, wasn't it him?
Yeah, well, okay.
He had like quite a few.
Because he was the token one. Okay, it's the brother. We can interview him.
Oh, Brian Flores?
Brian Flores,
Brian Flores,
If we interview him, then we can, say that the NFL isn't racist because he did have the lawsuit against him, and we can get past the Rooney Rule. But nobody was going to hire him. Mm-hmm. Okay? But what I'm saying is if Kellen Moore is this boy wonder genius and everything else, how come he wasn't able to get that head coaching gig?
Every head coach he's been with has had their job on the line if he stays there 2 years or more.
The funny thing is, at some point you have to start looking and saying, maybe it's Dak is the reason why these guys are successful. Because Linehan was here. Didn't nobody want him after he left. We saw what happened with Jason Garrett. And everybody's like, oh, well, Jason Garrett was hamstrung by the Cowboys. And we saw him with the Giants. It could be that Kellen Moore ends up being more Jason Garrett like than being this genius that people think.
Whatever. If that's what you need to tell yourself, Mark, to feel better.
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
outside of the talent, I'm just talking about the plays Kellen Moore calls at the wrong time.
There you go.
It's not about talent to me. It's about him making stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it's about for me.
There you go.
Kellen Moore plays cost Cowboys, or play calling has cost Cowboys games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
let's
really
talk
believe
about
that.
3rd and 13, maybe 3rd and 14 plays.
Jason Garrett too, costing us games.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, would it be safe to say, for Cowboys fans, you guys are sitting back and just waiting to watch that type of stuff happen, like the way things played out for you guys and Los Angeles? That's what you guys are anticipating playing out for us.
Absolutely not. I would give no credit to the Philadelphia fan base or activity, as you would say. I'm there for the Cowboys.
Amen.
You know,
Yeah, that's what.
win,
So the answer would be actually yes, right?
No, it would be no. It would be no. I'm
So
looking
you
at the
do not
Cowboys.
anticipate. So you do not anticipate those things happening to us that happened to you guys.
I do not give my attention to the Philadelphia Eagles any kind of way.
But what
I
guess what he's
anticipate
saying.
Jalen Hurts turning into a potato.
Oh man.
Wait,
got,
I guess.
wait. Hold on.
I guess
hold
what
on.
he's saying
Hold on. We
is-
got the voice in here. We got the voice. It's that angry cowboy. Okay.
I've been sitting and listening to all this and everything, and I believe every person in Cowboys Nation said good luck Philadelphia whenever they hired Kellen Moore. So I don't know. I kind of side with you, Leo, on this whole thing because I was hearing him say something along the lines, what was it? That Kellen Moore hasn't had that much talent as far as what he's been dealing with. And on one side of the coin, we have Cowboys Nation say that we were inefficient going into the playoffs with the people that we had. But now we're kind of laughing at that whole, oh, well, he has more talent now. Like, kind of he does, you know, he truly does. He has a more complete team in Philadelphia than what he has had with the Cowboys.
Yep.
Well, what about when he went to San Diego?
San Diego was a bust. That was a wash.
San Diego was a step.
No.
San
They went to
Diego
the
was.
playoffs the year before he got there.
Wait. From a talent perspective, San Diego was a step down in comparison to Dallas.
Who's
Dallas is
we're talking about yours or mine?
No, we're talking. No. Listen, when we're talking about Kellen Moore, right? When Kellen Moore left Dallas and went to the Chargers, okay, he left the team that he left, which was Dallas, was a much more talented team than the Chargers.
Okay, bro. Bro. Okay, I get what you're saying there.
Well,
but here's the thing. He didn't improve Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert got worse.
Yeah.
He got worse.
I'm not saying that didn't happen.
So whether it's talent or not, you have to look at it and say he's a better coach. He's going to elevate the guy who's there. And instead of him being elevated, he went backwards.
He only had 1 year with him, right?
Okay, but you're exactly okay. So 1 year.
The point.
So you're expecting great things then this year with Jalen Hurts.
So
no.
Make it make sense.
First. What I am expecting a great year.
Okay,
I am. But what I would like to have, you know what I'm saying, is a couple of years. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just Kellen Moore either. You see what I'm saying? It's the investment in all of the. Listen, the things that happened last year, that was an indictment on the coaching staff as a whole. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at the activities of the organization since then, you know what I'm saying? There was accountability and there was some changes made. You know what I'm saying? It was addressed. Do I agree with everything? No. But you know what, though? I appreciate accountability, and that's all I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Will this work? I don't know. But you know what? They did something. and we're still intact. We're still the most talented team that Kellen Moore has ever had.
Okay.
Okay, so
at one time.
What about your history?
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not. I'm not thinking about the history. I'm thinking about right now. This is brand new.
Oh, come on, man. This ain't Scrabble. You can't keep changing your vocabulary.
I think more of what people are saying.
I'm gonna use that.
I think what people are saying is just like, you know, you might have to win in spite of Kellen sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah. It's so many plays that when Kellen was here, it's so many game-winning drives, game-winning plays that we found out when the players did the interview, Dak changed the play.
Yeah.
And that's how they won.
A lot of times, you know, when we look at some of these, you know, fourth quarter drives or 2-minute drills that Dak is successful on, because Dak is calling the numbers. It wasn't being called in by Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
no huddle.
I like that.
Yeah, but see, at the same time, though, like
Philly special. Y'all might have to have Kellen call that Philly special because we know that's the only way y'all win a Super Bowl is by calling the Philly special.
Ooh, the Philly special. Look at
Philly.
Look at Walker Wade, bitch slapping him.
Was the fact we have a running back and Tony Pollard running him up the middle when he's a guy that's better outside.
Right.
The other fact is you have bigger backs and you're running them outside.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the way he calls his running fits and how it sets up. That's
or his trick plays.
His passing game good, but I am concerned about that part for you guys.
His trick plays that only trick us. I know he's like on the beach and shit back there. It's like, damn.
Dude, Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. I never block anybody, but there's a jackass that was in your comments who's calling me names. I don't understand. Everybody, am I like Mark? Don't we, Mark? Do we not disagree?
Shit, man, we're like a married couple, man.
Hey, listen, Derek, I've learned everything I know from YouTube from Mark Holmes. So what does that mean? I'm a piece of crap and I shouldn't live on, you know, this guy was a jackass. So he's gone.
Which guy was this one?
I'm tired of it. So
shit.
I'm on edge. You know
I'm sorry, I'm missing the chat.
The student is going to resemble the teacher in some
Again,
way.
man, I give Mark more props, but we disagree, don't we?
Oh,
Mark?
we do a lot. We do a lot.
Mark does 12 videos, or he's on his 12th video today.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm only on 7. Okay. No, but see,
I'm waiting for when he does 20. I'm waiting for when he does 20.
You know what? If training camp were open, I think I could do that.
That much content in the world.
Well,
Your last 6 videos,
shit.
Mark needs
Let
to be
me
talking
get
about
out to
Dak
Cali.
Prescott.
Training camp, okay? Yeah, you will see breakfast, okay? The breakfast that we have before we go to practice, okay? You're going to see driving into the parking lot. Here's what it's like for parking at Cowboys training camp.
Derek knows. You don't get subscribers by mimicking somebody else.
Shit.
People are smarter than Maurice gives them credit for. You either have something to bring to the table or you do not. And if you don't, then they're going to see right through it. So just, you know, every once in a while, you know, people get to me and he got to me. So I'm sorry. He's gone for today. You can have him tomorrow. Now, John Acme's lighting me up I keep saying to Brian, I rush back from work to hear you show 2:30 challenge him about Dak. All right, John, again, you must not be here a lot, John, because I've challenged, me and Mark have had many videos one-on-one about Dak. I love Dak, John. I'm not here and say I don't want Dak Prescott. I said I'm less tied to him than maybe some other people. If we can find somebody else, great. But I'm not willing to get rid of Dak Prescott without with another option. I'm not going down that road of Quincy Carter, you know, all the quarterbacks that we've had. Chad, the Chad Hutchinsons, all of them. I'm not willing to go down that road.
Anthony
no,
Wright.
I'm not, John. I'm not. I'm sorry. But if you want me to question...
if you get rid of Dak, you're playing around with that. You're potentially setting yourself
At least I know we're getting to the dance. And listen, here's my thing to Drew, who's not in Mark's chat, and anybody else who has a hard problem with Dak Prescott. Now, Wade, I don't think he's... Yeah, I know. That's a big plus. I don't think Wade is there yet. But anybody that says Dak can't get it done, I question their football acumen, because to me, that tells me you're not really watching the game and you're looking at it from a lens that isn't right. I'm just being honest. Dak can definitely get it done. Has he? No. Mark pointed out, and he used Peyton Manning. Now that's a talking point that people are going to be. Of course, Mark knew when he said it. As soon as he said the word Peyton Manning, people were going to snap back, right, Mark?
Yeah.
And you knew that. But the reality is, it's kind of true.
It's not kind of. It is.
So, gentlemen, a question of the day. Do you think that like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, all these guys, rookie contracts, their primes are being wasted by the Dallas Cowboys front office?
They've been wasting people's primes forever.
Yeah.
See, okay, so let me ask this one. Okay, let me say this one. So was Matthew Stafford a bum quarterback when he was at the Detroit Lions?
He was.
Because he didn't elevate the team and they didn't have any playoff success?
Matthew Stafford took a beating. Almost
but here's the thing.
Aikman.
Okay.
No, I'm saying you're right. That's what I'm saying. But
so,
he took.
Do you blame that on the quarterback? Or you blame that on the franchise?
No.
Okay.
The franchise.
So let's say when he went with the Rams, and the Rams brought him in, gave him everything and all that. Had they not brought in Odell Beckham, had they not brought in Von Miller and some of the other plays, the Ndamukong Suhs, would he have won the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, so is it because they won because of Matthew Stafford or because of the team around them?
I think our team lacks leadership, and sometimes
that is true too. That goes back to the Joneses undercutting your coach.
I think you need more than a quarterback, though. I think, like a lot of these teams that are successful, right? We look at the Kansas City Chiefs, right? We look at Patrick Mahomes, no doubt. But let's not forget that you got a stud defensive end on the other side in Jones, who. You know, there's normally more than one guy. If you open your eyes and look on the team, you remember you had Aikman, right? But then you had Charles Haley, Mark Holmes' teammate in college. You had Charles Haley. It took Charles Haley. Even as great as we were, Wade, we could not get it done with the triplets
it's like what Ed Jones said about a week ago. He said that the Cowboys need to bring in more experienced players that have been to the dance and know what it means to win.
Yeah. Leadership and accountability.
I mean? We had the triplets. We had the offensive line. We had everything. We still could not get it done.
And you know what? That's why the 95 Cowboys won it. It was mainly because they've been there and done that.
And they had better talent that was deeper than anybody else, too.
But
now,
no, that 95, they were mediocre that year. 95, they were kind of mediocre.
Okay, let me ask another question here. Here's another hypothetical.
I know.
Hold on.
Damn.
Would Troy Aikman? Hold on. Wait. Would Troy Aikman? Hold on.
Philly.
Would Troy Aikman have 3 Super Bowls if he didn't have Emmitt Smith?
No.
I think they all needed each other.
I'm just saying, exactly.
I agree with that.
Okay?
I agree with that.
So think about that for a second, because we saw Troy Aikman coming off a Super Bowl without Emmitt Smith the first 2 games, and they were ass. And when he separated his shoulder, against the Giants, they didn't say, don't worry about it, Emmitt, we got Troy Aikman, man. Just you rest for next week. They're like, oh, no, let's strap that motherfucker on. We still riding you, bro.
Pay him.
Okay?
I think
so if you're looking at it from that standpoint, you had the Dallas Cowboys defense with, the Charles Haley and all of the great players that we had there. And you're telling me with that great defense, if you didn't have Emmitt Smith, how are you expecting us with Father Time now, Zeke Elliott, that we're supposed to be able to win and say, well, Dak, it's on you now?
I think if you look at those 90s teams, they relied on each other. They built each other. It wasn't
as good as we were, Troy. I was at the games where it was scary going to Philly and trying to play the Eagles.
Yeah,
I know.
Those were
as good as
fights.
we were. So for everybody to say, well, Dak's got, I just saw a comment, Dak had, Sledhead, I love you, but he said Dak has to elevate. Okay, again, I hate being put in this position because now I'm defending Dak, but that's not fair to Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts had to elevate if he didn't have Devontae and AJ, but yet Jalen has to elevate, and if he don't get it done, it's all Jalen's fault. That's not fair, people. That's not fair. It doesn't matter if you have 3 years or 8 years played. It don't matter. It's a team game. Okay, and
well, it was more of an run-oriented
again
offensive production back in that time.
Do I want to play it here? Yeah, this is what it comes down to. And Wade, I don't know if Wade's still on, but this is what it comes down to for me. Do I want to pay my quarterback $60 million? No, I don't, because I know what it does to the rest of the team with not with Howie Roseman. Okay, let me just say that with my general manager, I know he's not going to do nothing. So it's like, that's why I don't want to pay $60 million for Dak. It's not really has nothing to do with Dak. I kind of think Dak needs to move on to actually get a chance to progress, because I don't know that he's going to get that opportunity with our front office. So that's why I don't want to pay him. It's not like I don't think he's worth the 60, but we can't get it done when he's making 40, Mark.
I agree.
So now we're going to give him 60 and we're going to expect the front office to do anything? They're not going to do shit.
We had, here's the reality. We had Dak for less than $1 million for 3 years. His fourth year, $2 million.
They made him sweat it out
and
for a new deal,
they didn't do anything there. Then after he got his big deal, we had him for 17, 19, and 26, and still didn't do anything. So it doesn't matter if they pay Dak or not. They're still not going to do anything. And when you look at this, because this is where we say, well, the Cowboys had a great team.
John Acme says
you want to know what a great
step
defense is? Then let's think about this. We had Micah Parsons. Now, people will say D-Law is great. We didn't have, of course, last year, Diggs, who was a key player. But think about this with San Francisco. Having Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Would we anywhere near that linebacking core? Anywhere near that last year?
No.
Okay. Let's think about having Nick Bosa, Armstead, Hargrave. Who else am I missing over there?
Randy Gregory.
They did have Randy over there
Warner.
too, who we thought, Randy was a big player.
Who's the one they got from Washington?
Warner.
Yeah, thank you.
Chase Young.
Chase Young, yes.
they had Chase Young.
You got Chase Young.
In any stretch of the imagination, are we anywhere close to the players on the field that they put on there?
Not even close.
Not right now. We were a couple years ago.
A couple years? When?
That playoff game we lost in San Francisco, we were dead even with San Francisco.
We were not our defense was not loaded
I
like
don't
that,
think
bro.
so.
Mark, that playoff game came down to the wire. The difference in that playoff game
we
was
played
our quarterback
we
throwing
played
two
well.
picks, and theirs not.
We played well on defense that game, I will say that, but we didn't have studs across the board like they do on that defense.
Mark,
we have not had a defensive front like that since the 90s, bro.
Look at Mark. The difference in that game was their quarterback didn't turn the ball over. Ours did twice.
Yes, and I'll give you that.
That was the difference, Mark.
Okay, again.
Anybody notice how Philadelphia beat them really easy after we played them too, though?
Yeah, because we hurt their quarterback.
We beat the crap out of them. That kind of helped Philly.
My point being is everybody's going to have a bad game. Okay, everybody's going to have a bad game. That happens.
I mean, but here's my argument. Here's my argument for that game, though. That was the opportunity right there. It was dead neck and neck. You needed.
I get you.
Get mad at me all you want to.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to get mad at you. Listen, unfortunately, I don't have a time machine, Wade. Wade, I can't go backwards and change that game. I can only deal with this moment forward. And right now, I know we're playing this team right here, right now, sometime this year, and maybe in the playoffs. And when I look at that defense and the players that they have on there, and I look at Micah Parsons and D-Law and have questions across the middle of my field, have an aging linebacker, have a cornerback who's coming back from injury, and I look at this loaded defense right here and say, these things ain't equal. I got to compete against this.
Not now.
Okay? That's my thing. I can't change that, okay? Dak lost that game. If you want to say that and make you feel better and all that, right now, forget about that. There's nothing you can do about that. We can only deal with what we got right here in front of us. And we have a defense that's going to have to stop Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, maybe Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. And I need to figure out, how am I going to compete against those guys? And me talking about what happened to us 3 years ago ain't going to fix this problem. And if you're looking at this and being honest, there's no way in the world that we should be competing or able to compete against a team like that. That defense is studs across the board. Their offensive skill players are studs across the board. We got CeeDee Lamb, who hasn't even been here because we're fucking around with his contract. Yeah, he's basically a slot receiver. And you look at this and say, how many of those other players on there are great players?
Check
That's the thing, though, is we're all
Zoom
upset
chat.
because we know the Cowboys have not done enough to equip this team to win this year.
And yet you're still going through and saying it's the quarterback. That's what kills me is people, we're giving the Joneses a pass for fucking around for 30 years. 30 years.
I'm not gonna blame Dak this year, Mark. I'm not blaming Dak on every year, but what you got to get the bigger picture here, Mark. When you're the franchise quarterback, you have to play like that in the playoffs.
Well,
no
guess
matter
what? Guess what? Trevor Lawrence just got paid like that. Is he doing it? Justin Herbert got paid like that.
I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence. I'm worried about the quarterback of the
Is Josh Allen getting the Super Bowls?
I'm worried about the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And when are we going to win a Super Bowl? That's all I'm worried about.
All right. Well, here's the thing.
I'm not worried about all these other quarterbacks.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I want you to understand
Mark,
something.
Do you understand, though?
I hear what you're saying, but the reality is the last, 6 years or so, it's either Tom Brady, one for Matthew Stafford, or Kansas City. Quarterbacks.
And Mark,
okay.
And hold on. I still can't let that go. Mark, you said, damn, Tom Brady was washed and he proceeded to play better than Dak for like 3 more years.
Well, I thought he was.
That's all I'm saying.
Dude,
but I tell you what, though.
Wade?
But here's the thing, though, Wade. I will say that team, when they went with Tampa Bay, they brought in more people to go ahead and work with them. It wasn't that they were a bottom tier team. Remember, they were 8-8 with Jameis Winston throwing 30 interceptions the year before. And they brought in a Ndamukong Suh. They brought in a Gronk, and they had great players. You know, they brought in AB. They brought in more players to help him too. I'm just saying. I would love to see. I would love to see the Cowboys do what they did for what the Eagles did for Jalen Hurts. Let's see what happens if they did something like that.
Go back and watch those games when the Buccaneers made that push in the playoffs. Brady was making the throws and not making the mistakes.
One thing that the Buccaneers did for Brady.
And he was in a damn nursing home while he was doing it.
And he had
one thing that the Buccaneers did for Brady is that whenever they got Brady to come to that team, they asked him, "What do you need?
Yeah.
What do you want?"
That's big right there.
The front office for the Cowboys has not done that for Dak Prescott.
Well, Dak's going to have to do more for less.
Yeah, they went out there and got him a Gronk too.
Now, this is a question I have for Angry Cowboy. Now, my thing is I
great discussion,
Dak.
everybody.
I want him to be more vocal. Right?
Yeah,
I need
pound
him
the
to
table, Dak. Pound the table.
Now, I don't know that he's not doing it behind the scenes, but at some point, Tom Brady would come out in front and say, I don't know. He had a big enough hammer that he could say it, I guess, maybe. But I don't know, man. Maybe he already had skins on the wall, right, from New England.
Well, but
so
hold
when
on.
he came to Tampa,
If you're Tampa Bay, but here's the thing.
Well,
if you're Tampa Bay,
they agreed to get him whatever he wanted during his negotiations to come there.
Yeah, Tampa Bay made the investment and said, we're tired of being ass. Let's go get Tom Brady. You don't go get Tom Brady and say, okay, Tom, you got to win it on your own. If you're going to make a move to try and get better, you're going to do everything you can to win.
Look at Aaron Rodgers. He's trying to get Devontae Adams to the Jets. He's had everybody that he likes. That's the way it should be. Now, I don't know the dynamic, but listen, that's why This is why I said I'd rather not pay Dak 60. Let him go to an organization and win a Super Bowl just to make the Muppets, Steven and Jerry Jones, look like fools because,
okay.
Well, that's what I call them on my channel. My channel members know. I call them the Muppets. They're literally like
I know
the
which
guys.
two you're talking about. The two old white dudes on the Muppets.
Yes.
Let me say. I'm sorry.
What we got to deal with. So again, that is. I want to make it clear. I would love to win. Listen, I said it before. Mark knows. Mark, we have a plaque with our name on it supposedly hanging in Dak's hallway of his house because we raised money for his charity. He's a unbelievable person. He's a great quarterback. He hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs, but it's football, people. Has anybody played the game? It's a friggin' team game. You can't do it without it.
Okay.
Now, again,
Right.
I don't know what else to say. I
me say
honestly
one
think
thing.
a lot of the East. I mean, Dak's record is 32-8 against the NFC East. I want everybody in the chat to drink that in. Okay, Dak's record against the NFC East, you could look it up, is 32-8. So
he lost 2 of those in his rookie year.
So in saying that, you have to be able to be well in your division before you do anything
And make
else.
the playoffs before you can do anything.
So I get it. He's good in division. He's good in conference. I know Drew says his record against 500 teams is not good. I know that too. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic. Dak can beat the bad teams, I guess. And in his
but that's
tenure,
a fallacy, though. There's only like 2 quarterbacks that actually have a winning record against winning teams.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. There's a stat for everything.
Here's the thing. There's a reason why winning teams are winning teams, because they win. Okay? But I want to actually deal with somebody had said that, well, Tom Brady took less money. Here's the thing.
I know, Dwayne Sweetie. I know, brother. I know.
Taking less money would be great if the team were actually going to do something with it. The Cowboys, you have to understand that, yes, this year is $55 million, but last year was only 26. Did they do anything? The year before it was only 19. Did they do anything with it? Because the Eagles, because here's the thing, the Eagles took a $30-some million dead hit with Carson Wentz to get his ass out of there, and they still found a way to spend money to make their team better. When Dak Prescott was $17 million hit, did they do anything? When Dak Prescott was $680,000 for 3 years, did the Cowboys do anything? So blaming Dak Prescott's salary for the reason why the Cowboys aren't putting in there is a falsehood.
And it's not your money either.
I think that what I appreciate the most is the actual investment. The team invested in things to help Jalen become successful. You know what I'm saying? You've had Dak for 9 years. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Here's the thing. I hear you saying that. But here's the reason why the Dallas Cowboys will re-sign Dak Prescott. Because by signing him, it ends up making the Joneses hands clean. Because he will always be the person that gets the blame. He will keep you relevant, where the fan base is excited about playoffs, and when it goes to shit because we didn't do anything, they're going to look at that quarterback, Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's going to smile and, toe the company line and not throw them under the bus.
Right.
That's why you're going to sign Dak Prescott. Because if you let him go and the team goes down the toilet, now everybody's looking at you, Jerry, because you ain't got him to blame.
Can
Deniability.
you compare Dak Prescott's record at his draft pick status, where he was drafted in the NFL, against Aaron Rodgers if you take away that one Super Bowl?
Aaron Rodgers actually, since that Super Bowl, has not been great in the playoffs.
Went to 4 NFC championships, but
how many?
4, if I'm not mistaken, 4.
Well,
okay.
Not to mention the league MVPs. I don't know how many it is, 2, 3.
But
didn't Aaron Rodgers have one of them didn't Aaron Rodgers have one of them really bad draft nights where they made they kept the camera on him and people kept passing him?
Yeah, that was the reason why he didn't like Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, when Alex Smith went number one.
Because Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator for San Francisco. He wanted to go to San Francisco, and they passed on him and took Alex Smith. And that's why Mike McCarthy and him never got along, because he always held it against him.
Wow.
So check this out, Mark. So here's the scenario. So let's say we had Aaron Rodgers when he was a rookie. So do you think Aaron Rodgers would have been pounding the table at the Jones family to get shit done? He would have did it. He'd have been a diva, and if how good he was, you think they would have just let him walk?
Well, but here's the thing. But
done
hold
something?
on, though. But let's look at the flip side of it. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was there getting the coach fired. Aaron Rodgers was pounding the table about getting players back. But that Aaron Rodgers, they didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and another thing, their team is owned by the fans. They're not owned by a family. So when you find a table, if you got popularity with the fans,
shout out to West Virginia country boy.
If you got popularity with the fans, then you get that prestige. But when a family owns a team, you can't knock the family.
But I want to point out something too, because it was funny that when we lost to San Francisco, the next week San Francisco played against Aaron Rodgers, who was the number 1 seed. Okay, they were the number 1 seed. He was league MVP, and they got beat at in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Yeah. And it was funny because when I pointed out that Aaron Rodgers, they had 1 TD pass and lost to San Francisco, they said, well, the weather was cold. It was bad weather. It's like, wait a minute. San Francisco, you almost could say, is a warm weather team. They don't get snow and ice. Versus the frozen tundra of Green Bay, you guys are literally going to give him a pass?
Yeah, that should have been home field advantage for Green Bay.
So I understand, everybody's got this thing with Aaron Rodgers. That was his last playoff game. They were home field advantage, had the bye week, and they scored, I think, 9 points against San Francisco at home. Against Jimmy G, I think, had 120 yards, and they won the game. So you're saying Aaron Rodgers pounding? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has been pounding on the table for the last few years, but they ain't done shit either. They've won some regular season games, number 1 seed, but then they choked in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, maybe the Packers were looking at it. If they went to a Super Bowl, they still won. They still were in contention at home field advantage. I mean, you'd think that the franchise is looking, we've been to a Super Bowl, we won. We've been to a couple conference titles. Are we just going to let this guy walk, or are we going to give him what he wants?
They let him walk, didn't they?
They eventually let him walk. So
when he was in his late 30s.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so
that's what I'm saying. Like if he was on
here's
Dallas,
another question then too. Since we're talking about Green Bay, is Jordan Love. Jordan Love, if you look at the first half of the season, Jordan Love was below average as a quarterback. Against the schedule that they played, they didn't play a lot of great teams. Now, he had a great game against the Cowboys where they literally realized the Cowboys suck in the middle. Let's make sure we use the run to set up the pass, and had a great game against us. Does he? Because he's right now looking at a new contract where they're talking about 55 plus off of 1 season. Do you look and say Jordan Love is a great quarterback to build a roster around? You're basically talking about 9 games. Wow, everybody went silent.
No, I'm thinking. I'm like,
I'd give him another year, see what he does.
Yeah.
Philly Eagle Mafia. Philly Eagle Mafia. You always worried about Mark Holmes about what he got to say. Nobody asked you to bring your nasty green ass up in this motherfucker to talk some shit. If you don't like the fuck I'm talking about, then get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Look, Mark always worried about every other quarterback. No, I'm trying to actually bring truth to power here, because we got all of this stuff here where, oh man, Jordan Love, man, that guy is great. You know what? This is like Kyler Murray, who had 1 really good year, got paid, and so on, and then hasn't done shit. This is the same as, say, Deshaun Watson, okay? Deshaun Watson, who with a 4-12 season, they're talking about Deshaun Watson, he's a top 5 quarterback. It's like, bro, they were 4-12. They were 4-12.
Look,
okay.
Mark,
and what has he done since then? Got like 12 TDs in the last 2 years. Come on, man. The point I'm bringing is you compare other quarterbacks and situations so you can find out, is this guy ass or not?
There. Yeah, no.
Mark is, listen though.
Kiss my ass. Kiss it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to like how I think when I think about Dak and Jalen in comparison to, okay, there is no doubting
you too, buddy.
Dak is a top 5 quarterback. Okay, I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's the chemicals speaking.
No. He's a top quarterback. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that the reason why he's a really good quarterback. The problem is that the reason why I would continue to take Jalen over Dak is that Dak has been at it for 8 to 9 years. You know what I'm saying? Jalen's only been at it for going on 5 years. Or, you know what I'm saying? So to me, seeing what Jalen has been able to accomplish, and the constant, very public investment in the things that he needs year after year after year, I feel like by the time Jalen hits year 9, there's a real potential that we could have a couple of Super Bowls. If you look at where Dak is,
you know what's funny is, listen,
by the time
y'all getting me fired up here, okay?
By the time you get to where Dak is now,
bro,
I think by the time Jalen gets to year 9, year 10,
we gonna get out of here, boy.
Could get
I'm gonna see you in the hospital. We gonna get a
I really believe that.
Same thing. Philly 500
no,
said
you
the
know
same
what?
thing
See,
about
this is
Carson
this.
Wentz. You don't remember that?
That year
Philly
is not going to
500
happen
said
again.
that about Carson Wentz.
There you go.
Carson Wentz is going to get us there every year.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I'll
here's the
say
thing.
this.
See, Leo, I'm sorry. No. I'm going to put your ass in your place right now because you have just been going through and talking about how good your team is, okay? How great it is in comparison to the talent. How they've gone out and done everything in the world to try and win. My team does absolutely nothing. If anything, they deconstruct. Okay? They have given your guy everything in the world to try and succeed. They went out and said, let's keep drafting quarterbacks in the first round. That didn't work. So we went out. We ended up getting a quarterback there for him to go with them. You got the best offensive line. You developed the best play in football, the tush push, to go ahead and get these things. And guess what? With having everything in front of him, that guy who had the soft part of their schedule ended up losing 6 of 7 games when they literally had the home field advantage locked up. To turn around and say, this guy is great, okay, who literally had everything. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. You are definitely getting high on your supply, okay? He is not as good as you think. Okay?
No,
and
Mark,
look, I'm going to
Mark, I think
drop the mic.
Mark, listen. Listen. Hence why I said the variables. I told you exactly what variables that I'm using when I say the things that I'm saying. Having seen the kind of investment the organization has made,
exactly the investment that your team has made to make the guy successful. Name one thing. Name just one thing that the Cowboys have done to try and take care of their investment.
Listen. Hear me out. Because I'm saying these things are actually happening. In comparison to Dak Prescott, by the time Jalen makes it to year 9, year 10, he might, if the team keeps doing what they're doing, there's a real possibility he could get a couple. Just because the way this team is being built. That's all I'm saying.
You're saying that's because of the quarterback or because of the organization building the team?
I think that if the Dallas Cowboys had invested in Dak Prescott like the Eagles have in the same period of time.
You're making my argument.
You know what I'm saying? And not done what they've done, y'all might have a couple out of them because it's not all him.
We're on the same side right there.
That's what we've been
now, what happens? Hold on.
Like that. Yeah,
what happens?
Smart that time.
No, I'm serious.
Like, what happens with Jalen Hurts? If Jalen Hurts is basically an RPO quarterback and never becomes a good pocket quarterback. We saw what happened last year when he wasn't able to use his legs the same way.
He threw the ball 108 more times from the pocket, and
But Mark,
his highest INT total
that goes
in his career.
Here's the thing: the answer to that, in order to get the answer to that question, which is a very fair question, even you have to admit the only way that you're going to get that answer is you need to see the season happen.
Oh, I agree. And the problem with me is, if he can't make a transition,
you need to see it.
Okay.
There's no other way.
In the same way,
I'm in the moon. I gotta be in the moon.
You need
he in space.
I'm not smoking.
No,
so I'm
right.
as
I'm
high
just
as I
saying,
can get.
Damn.
I give Jalen Hurts a lot of credit. Getting to the Super Bowl is hard. But if you look at that season, the Eagles had the easiest road to the Super Bowl ever.
The Giants scored 7 points. San Francisco had a hurt quarterback.
During the season, y'all played a lot of teams that didn't have their starting quarterback, even during the season.
Okay.
And then the week before, we beat up on San Francisco for you.
Wait. Here's the thing about it is that I don't have to imagine what it looks like when my quarterback plays in the Super Bowl. He's done it.
Okay.
Now I got to get him back there.
Again, I promise you that.
Now I just got to get him back. Now as an organization, I got to get him back there.
He just dropped the mic on our ass.
Okay.
It's not
Here we go,
it's so not a hypothetical or a theory. I've actually seen what my quarterback looks like in the Super Bowl. He actually played it.
Right.
I guess as an organization, I got to get and statistically had a better game than the winning quarterback. So what I would say is he has earned my effort as an organization. He's earned my effort to try to get his ass back there. I want to see him get back there.
He had one Cinderella year. That's
a hell of a year, though, Edwin.
If he does not win this year, do you think he's going to pound the table against those?
And when he has earned the investment of the organization to get him where he needs.
This shows you the importance of the team sport. That shows you how much a team, how much it matters.
It matters.
Angry Cowboy was.
It matters.
He was saying what I'm
like
thinking.
angry. Think about it.
Okay.
Think about what they bought in. Think about what they bought in.
That's
Think
it.
about what they went and they went shopping. When whatever the hell happened last year, the owner came out of the office. Game time, you heard it. They were reporting it on the news. The owner came up out of his office and game time tell him, you never hear about Jeffrey Lurie around.
No. Right, you're right, 100%.
And the way and the response
he's in the back,
to whatever
as far back as you can be.
Shit.
Until it's time. It's like one of those Leo, like when he talks, he's like, holy shit, he's talking. Everybody's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice guy. Really nice guy, low key, but to the point that I'm just saying to y'all, like, I know y'all know Jerry. Y'all know what it like when Jerry gets
we're over Jerry.
When he ain't had his medication and everything like that. Y'all know y'all owner. We know our owner too. And for him, like, when that shit happened last year that Mark keeps bringing up, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling everybody, in game time, you could back me up. When they said that Jeffrey Lurie came up out the damn office, I was like, oh shit. Everybody in trouble.
He's a hands-off.
Come on, Leo, right down the middle. Let's go. Come on, buddy.
Hear
Let's go.
Angry
Right down the middle.
Cowboys
Come on, buddy.
response.
Come
Go
on.
ahead, Angry.
Just go ahead. And sure enough, you saw what happened. Chop. They started chopping people out of this.
Get in there, Angry.
With all the
Leon, if is this the same owner that let McNabb get treated the way he was treated, the way Cunningham was treated, the way T.O. was treated?
Hold up.
No.
McNabb ruined himself when he couldn't deal with T.O. Come on.
He didn't have Randall.
What everybody is doing, like with the teams around the league, except for the Dallas Cowboys, they understand that it's a team situation.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Dallas Cowboys, they expect Dak Prescott to take a cube steak and make it filet mignon.
Yeah,
but that's business.
Yeah. Wait a minute, hey, Angry. Listen, no. Here's your biggest piece of evidence too, because it took us years to get over Brian Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
And they and as soon as they got Malcolm, oh my God, it took them. Big mistake. And then
remember Heckert, Tom Heckert. And
they got rid of him.
May he rest in peace because he's since passed away. But Tom Heckert, they had this stupid ass rule where 30 years old we're unloading, and Brian Dawkins. He was one of the guys that you have to pass over that stupid rule and say, "Yo,
game time." Tell him we wasn't right for years.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? And it took, and it wasn't until they got Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? And that's when everything calmed the hell down. As soon as they got Malcolm, it was like everything sort of. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you, I like and. You don't hear about Jeffrey, but he let they asses know. Like it was bad. He lets them do their thing. He let them cook. And if the shit don't come out right, okay. But it hardly ever happens.
Marcus Blackman, I completely agree with you. Yeah. I completely agree with you. Greed has destroyed this sport. Greed has destroyed sports. We're sitting here complaining about how much a quarterback gets, but we put all the popularity in the quarterback to make him the most important position on the team. And we're like, damn, he's going to break the bank. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. We've propped him up to do this. Now we're propping
so why not go get him?
Yeah,
go get him the things, the tools that he needs.
We need to get rid of the salary cap. Let's get back to no salary cap.
The Joneses would destroy the league if there was no.
I was going to say that then the Cowboys would be like the Yankees.
I don't know that they would anymore.
No,
they
me
seem
neither, Mark.
For whatever, listen. They could, the thing is they could do things if they want to. You know, every year, New Orleans is like $80 million over the cap. Every year. Now, I'm not going to say that that's the model that you want to be in and that it's leading to them getting Super Bowls, but it hasn't prevented them from trying. And to Leo's point, you know, Leo, I give you a hard way to go. I yell at you a lot and all that, but you're good people, man. You know, like Philly 500 and stuff, you know, somebody was effing with you. You know, I got your back. I got your back, okay? I want you to understand
Thank you,
that.
brother. Same here. Game time.
If you want to do something, okay? Because we're talking about, I'm a guy who had bad credit. I mean, bad credit, okay? But I found a way to be able to build and fix this houses and stuff, okay? If you want to do something, you can figure out a way to get the money together. You may have to beg and borrow and you know, move money around this way or another way. If you really want to do something, you can find a way. And the Cowboys have ways that they can do it. If they had just gotten CeeDee Lamb's contract done, they'd have another $9 million today, which would be 22. If they had gotten Dak Prescott's contract done, they could have gotten themselves about another $30 million, okay? Yeah. If you were really saying we're all in and we're going to try and win this and we'll keep, you know, the coach and some of the other players on last year of the deals, fine. Then if you're actually going to do that, then go out and try and do it. Let's go ahead and get a couple of studs on the defensive line. Let's go out and get a Derrick Henry as a running back and trying to say we're going to go ahead and do this. Because the reality is if you put 3 players on the team last year, you probably had a good chance to win a Super Bowl. You got 2 linebackers and maybe a really good running back to go with Tony Pollard. Or maybe another wide receiver that would have been, you know, another weapon. That team would have been so much better than what it was. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's not that I'm saying that Dak Prescott is Joe Montana or anything else. I'm saying, like any quarterback out there, everybody out there looks and says, what can I do to make my quarterback be more successful? And we never do that.
Yep.
We never do that. We always say, well, he's going to have to do more with less. What the fuck is that? And we all expect to say, okay.
They penalize him for earning the deal.
For being good enough to earn it. You know how many okay, do you look at Kyler Murray and say he's going to get another, deserves another big deal? Do you look at Deshaun Watson? We are handicapping a guy who has played well enough that you say he's got to break the bank. Other teams wish they'd have that problem.
I got to go, but just real quick, I want to get into Dak real quick because now that, you know, we always seem to get on the Dak, but I'm going to talk about Dak. If I'm Dak, I don't think Dak should play on the final year of his deal, Mark. And I say that
I agree.
For Dak's purposes, I don't think he should play nice anymore.
I don't think he should either.
Listen, it may be the detriment to not Leo, but, you know, our Cowboys. It would be the detriment to our team for him to do that. But I think for Dak's sake, he needs to come out and say, listen, I'm not playing another down until I get a new deal. And if they don't give him a deal, then he's got to do what he's got to do, because God forbid he hurts his foot or re-injures his foot. He's not getting $16 million next year, whether he's free completely free or not. He was able to come back from that once, which I got news for you people, that doesn't happen often. That type of injury you do not come back from at the level that he's able to do it. So I would not play another down for the Cowboys without a new deal. Dak is being way nice. That's one thing as we get closer to the season and I'm like starting to think about it. I know I had a stance where I'm not paying Dak 60, but I wouldn't pay. If I'm Dak's agent, I'm like, no, stop betting on yourself. You don't have to play another down. You got
Why is it you always have to and nobody else does?
You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that because you're going to roll snake eyes one of these times. And when he does, I feel bad for listen, don't get me wrong. Dak's got enough money that he don't have to worry. But for his sake, don't do it again, Dak. Please come out and say, listen, I really want a deal. If you want me, pay me. If you don't want me, tell me that. I wish my thing is, Mark, I wish this thing would have taken place 6 months ago or 3 months ago. Maybe trade him. I know he has a no trade, but you could make a deal. Leo knows this. You could say, all right, who do you want to go with? You can, negotiate your new contract as if you were a free agent. You could do that.
You could.
And give us some
but here's the
compensation.
thing, though. Why am I going to do you any favors?
I ain't gonna help you.
Okay, because unlike Carson, because here's the difference.
He could come out and say, I'm not playing, and then he gets documented the year.
Let me explain the difference, because Carson Wentz, they owned his rights. Okay, they owned his rights and stuff where he had no options. Okay, either you accept this trade and you can get out, or we hold on to you. But Dak Prescott actually has the option, so it's like, I go through one more year here, I can pick where I'm going without handicapping the team that's getting me.
He has to play this year.
True.
That's the only way, like you and Angry Cowboy, that's the only way he's able to have the cards. He has to play. So if he holds out.
Well, I think, but game time, here's the thing. When you look at it from an overall perspective, you guys should never even be in this.
Well,
It
goes on top.
Right. If we're being responsible, a responsible organization, you never should have gotten here. Like, this contract should have been
you never should have gave him a no trade clause.
Well, no. All I'm saying is yes. Like, he should be on. Like, he should be on his on his new contract that doesn't have the no trade clause. You see what I'm saying? But you never should have got here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is that, everyone said that when he signed this contract. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? He has a no trade clause. That's rare. You know what I'm saying? Jerry did this. It puts him in a but he'll never make it to the end of this contract. And lo and behold, goddamn, look at where he's at right now.
Yeah, he's at his best year as a pro
he's
last
good.
year.
Yeah, and he's good. You understand what I'm saying? So he, like, when you think about it from Dak's perspective, you know what I'm saying? He's got the no trade clause. He don't care what nobody think. He had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's had a hell of a couple of years coming off of the injury and everything like that. He's a step up. You know what I'm saying? He might go somewhere and fuck around and win a damn Super Bowl and really be looking. He's that good. If the right, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that Jerry and them could do about it. You can't even the only thing you could do is get compensatory picks or some shit, right? That's the only thing y'all get. If
Mitchell is in the chat, who just got blocked, basically said, why are we doing Dak any favors? You're not doing Dak favors. You're doing the fans favors by getting compensation. That's all I was saying. He don't have to agree to nothing. I get it, but Mark, once the season starts and the checks start coming in, you can't recoup that money.
No.
Okay, so this is all I was saying was he's going to have to play. I know he holds all the cards, but he has to play. That's why you always get a bargain if you sign a deal now, even though you're on the last year of a deal, because you haven't stepped foot on the most dangerous field on earth, is the NFL.
Yep.
So, again, once you step on that field, now it's Dak has done well, and Dak's bet on himself, and Dak's done great, but it's going to run out eventually. And for Dak's sake, I would come out and say, yo, I'm not playing. And they may say, well, we're going to dock you a game check. But then that's something he's got to live with. I'm
going to say this. Having gone through it a couple of times since Dak has been drafted, I'm telling y'all, just like how y'all trying to tell me about Kellen
Winslow.
I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, everything about the way things are going down and the way this is happening, it all sounds like rebuild. They just don't want to say that.
And it might be.
It sounds like rebuild is on the way. You know what I'm saying? You said it yourself, Mark. You're gonna have over $100 million next year?
No, actually, at the moment it's 65.
And see, yeah, but like what? When y'all gonna have like 100
Yeah, but
million in
it'll go
salary
higher
cap?
once we
Once we
redo.
do, if we
if
do
they
some
give
contracts.
that $60 million, how many years is that for? 1 year?
That would be for that year, but you got to get Micah taken care of, Dak and CD, and so on. And of course,
then
you have your
Bland and
But what would his
Who's to say
contract
Dak
look
ain't gonna be gone?
Tyler Smith,
Tyler Smith and Zach
Jake
Martin.
Ferguson. It goes on and on, people. That's what you're
What would
looking
his
at.
contract look like for that $60 million?
It'd be 60 million for, $60 million for
well, it
1
depends on
year
how
for probably
Well,
5 years.
hold up, right? Like Angry, we know that. Look what they did with Jalen's contract. His contract, and Mark knows better than anybody. His contract hasn't even hit the books yet. Really,
Basically,
really, right, Mark? You know,
Well, they've kept it low. They've backloaded it big time.
It's backloaded. Like, let's put it this way, Angry. In 2027, Eagles cap situation looks like a mile of bad road that you have to drive on with no shocks on an old beat up truck.
But okay, so here's the thing with Trevor.
But hopefully, like Leo said, they win a couple of Super Bowls before then, and nobody gives a crap, right? So that's
I think they're going to. I think they're going to restructure a lot of contracts.
They're going to have to.
Again, here's the deal, Leo. If that DirecTV deal, and I'm hearing that it may very well, they may lose the appeal. And if
they've got to get a bond for the $14.1 million.
It jumps not from 4.7. Yes, it jumps to $14 billion.
Yeah.
So, do you know, Mark? And it's an embarrassment. It's very embarrassing to hear this, and I don't blame. I've been doing a couple of videos of it this week. There are teams who can't make the $440 million bond that it would require.
That's basically their operation budget for the year.
This is ridiculous. The NFL
actually,
is printing
it's the only
money.
one that can is the Cowboys.
But that's ridiculous because that means, and now you know why, Leo and Angry and everybody. This is why Jerry gets so. This is the one thing Jerry's great at is marketing. Jerry invests millions in his DallasCowboy.com media department. He invests more than anybody when it comes to merchandise. Yet everything is equal on the way out. Okay, Mike Brown sitting in Cincinnati is investing $400,000 into his .com, and he don't give a shit about selling much merch because he knows Jerry Jones, Jeffrey Lurie, and the bigwigs, the 49ers, are selling all the shit, and they're getting an equal share. That's not right.
To a point, though. Okay, to a point on the revenue share, but like then you have your local deals and stuff. See, like, for example, I am forever getting advertisements and emails about New England, Washington, and Philadelphia merchandise and stuff.
But I'm talking as far as the salary cap goes.
Right,
and
but the teams actually have some revenue, and this is why the Cowboys actually would be able to pay this because of their revenue that they bring in beyond just the revenue share. They have their local deals, but it is.
Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent.
But the other point of that, though, is you may hate that if you're the Cowboys because you're making a lot of money that's going to help the other teams. But it's also what makes the NFL popular because almost everybody has a chance to turn it around and win. You don't want to have just 3 or 4 teams that are always winning, and we know, well, shit, we never have an opportunity.
Right.
When you see Kansas City after 50 years come back and all of a sudden they're one of the top teams and so on, it gives everybody hope of maybe this year is my team's year. And when the Eagles literally went from last place and turned around and finally win a Super Bowl –
to a juggernaut, it looked like it
exactly right. So I mean, and that's the thing that actually makes football good.
Well, that's what I think. And that is good because I'm sure right now, I would say I don't know, guys. How many teams do you think are actually out of it? 4, 5, maybe. I went and looked. When you actually look at each division, I did it last night on the live stream. We looked at all the divisions. Yeah, there's maybe 4 or 5 teams that are out of it now. Okay, we know that. Yeah. Other than that, everybody's on the way up. The NFC West is not a 49er given division. Right. It is not. The NFC North, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota. Yeah. Minnesota's probably the worst of the bunch. Chicago's offense, if Caleb Williams is that guy, my God, they have an unbelievable amount of talent. You know what I mean? So it's exciting, but it's going to be harder for us, same teams who haven't gotten the job and gotten to the mountaintop. It's going to be that much harder. because these teams are that much better. So
our window of you're thinking about your window of opportunity,
right?
Like I think our window, as our team is currently constructed, as you take into account, like you said, Mark, it's going to be a few years before, especially when this thing hits, where you're going to have to make some moves and whatnot. Yeah, man. I like our chances.
Well, I tell you what, though, if it ends up being that Jalen Hurts is like Carson Wentz and going downhill, then you're fucked.
No. And let me say this. The reason why I don't like comparing Jalen Hurts to Carson Wentz is because they're two totally
I understand. Okay.
people.
If Jalen Hurts is not better than he was last year, how about that?
Yeah, listen,
then you're fucked. If that is now the guy who really is, that he just had one great year on a great team, then you're screwed. We can take Carson Wentz out the equation.
Yeah, but Jalen's gotten better every year.
Are you saying no? He did not last year.
No, okay, except for last year. Yeah, except for last year.
Okay,
so he's. When you think about when he first came into the league, he took over the last few games of the season because Carson got hurt.
And then the next year there was no real book out on him.
Right.
And then the next year you ended up getting him everything he needed to have a juggernaut, and your team stayed healthy.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
So that's not necessarily that he got better. It may have been that the team was also better. But then again, what do I know? I am just a hater that's still got 5 more videos I have to do before midnight. Okay, and there's 5 hours left to go.
Still got better.
Do a video on your dinner.
Okay, and guess what? He can get worse too with Kellen Moore. Okay,
and that. Well, I remember the original question now, which was, are you guys anticipating that being the case for Jalen Hurts with Kellen Moore this year?
Of course you're not. Nobody goes in, oh man, we hired this guy and we're going to go downhill off a cliff. Everybody's like, yeah, well, it's going to be great. You always look for the positives, and then when the shit hits the fan.
I'm talking about Cowboys fans are expecting for Jalen.
Yeah, what he's saying.
Here's what's going to happen.
Fans is expecting disaster in Philly because Kellen Moore's there.
And a lot of people are expecting.
We don't wish bad luck on nobody. We just gonna whoop your ass. That's all. We don't wish no bad luck. No, we don't think about Philly.
Well, we've gone through here for 2 hours, guys. 2 hours, okay, and I got a few things I need to take care of. For my wife and everything else and stuff. Besides, I'm getting tired of listening to Leo in my ear here about how good Jalen Hurts is and everything else. But final thoughts here. Final thoughts from everybody but Leo.
It's hotter than hell.
Okay. I have I don't know what we need to do to make this happen. But during the season or something, sometimes we need the Leo and Edwin show. Just put them two
I'm serious.
on camera together and let's watch it. It's entertainment.
No holds
I try
barred.
to say
Cage
stuff
match.
to get them to go back and forth. That's my whole goal now on this. So we need that show. We need the Bridgewater Strickland show or something. Put it together.
No.
It is entertaining, guys.
That's a terrible idea.
Okay, my thing is, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, and I say Dak is not in a position to knock on the table to talk to the Jones. You got money on the table, take the money, make this your last year. I would do that. Start my own football league in my backyard with The Rock. But as far as comparing Dallas or stats and anything, we have a good team, and I can't tell the Joneses how to run their money, but when you're the richest man in any sport in the world, you have to know something. You're doing something right. So think about the money that Dak produces by playing. That offsets his contract in a matter of speaking, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Dallas Cowboy, I said we keep Dak and we just add some more pieces, just like Mark said. We get a running back, a pounder, and we get some good linebackers. And I say we good, and a defensive lineman, and we're good. We're good.
Mm-hmm. That would help.
I don't know. I honestly think that Dak Prescott, we should re-sign him because we've handled this so immaturely for so long that you should re-sign him, get his replacement during that extension so that we can go into this the proper way, develop this man behind Dak Prescott and then leave something in the contract, leave conversation in the contract to where we have an out for you. In the third or the fourth year, we have an out. We can get out from under you if this kid is shining. But right now, saying just, bam, let him walk and we'll take Trey, that's a lot of, well, we might suck for a few years or, well, we might be in purgatory. There's too many question marks. So let's just extend Dak this time, get his replacement through the draft because we draft great. And then whenever it's time for him to have his extension next time, we can say, okay, deuces, you've been with the team for 13, 14 years.
There you go.
I agree with Anchor on that.
Respect on that.
All right. Well, let me say from the bottom of my heart, I hope everybody enjoyed this because, this is the desert, okay? We're all out in the Sahara Desert. We're looking for news and stuff on our teams, but all we're seeing is a whole bunch of sand. And from time to time, we think we see something, but it's just a mirage. So hopefully we'll see something soon. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens have the rookies have already reported. You're going to start seeing some more teams that are beginning to get on the field starting tomorrow, and then the following week we've got the Cowboys. So there you have it. Good people. I appreciate y'all, and we're going to close with this one.
Fuck them birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Now we shoot those birds out of the sky. Stupid dumbasses managed to give up a 3rd and 30 to my sexy arm. Pathetic defense and team. No wonder I own those piece of shit frauds every damn year. Don't get me started on the fans. You boo me while I earned a respected award. Losing the Super Bowl was just karma for you fuckheads. I can't wait to drop 100 on your heads next season while being the daddy of the NFC East.